Hey everyone, doing a Project Life album walkthrough. So this album is, I have two albums for this year, for 2016. This is weeks 1 through 21. Um, so my second album, since it's covering more weeks, is a lot thicker, and it's actually very, very thick. I'm covering someone's face because I don't know if they would want to be included on a YouTube video. So I've done that a couple times through the album. So I like to include like screenshots of interactions on social media, notes from school, stuff like that I think is cool to include instead of just photos or just journaling. Something I like about Project Life is when I look back, it kind of is like a mirror of my life. So something I was noticing as I was looking through this album earlier is that I've been sick a lot this year. And I'm referring to this is journaling about being sick, and then that Kleenex is kind of an indication that I'm sick, that I was sick. And I never think of myself as being somebody who's sick a lot, but then I noticed like, gosh, I was really sick a lot this year. So I think that's a pattern that I wouldn't have noticed if I didn't do this project. And I think that's true of other things as well. Just noticing like larger patterns in our life, which I think is cool. It's a cool result, I think, of doing this project. Interestingly, I think also it's shown me how little she's been sick, my daughter, as opposed to me. So I also do a lot of journaling about bad things, so meaning struggles. Struggle isn't always bad, but this is me journaling about my anxiety this week. And that, again, it's interesting to watch it over time and see like, gosh, it got really bad last spring, or, you know, I just don't know that I would have known that otherwise. I also like to do current events. So this was in March, and this is Trump and Clinton, you know, and the primaries and all that. Kind of interesting, you know, to just look at where the world was, you know, at the time of these albums, just to give some context, you know, to the time and to the photos. And I think especially with kids, I mean, I scrapbooked a lot before I had kids, so I don't by any means think that this is only something that you should do if you have kids, but something especially as I've had a child and scrapbooked, I notice how fast things are a thing and then they're not a thing anymore. And I think it's easy to like forget about them. I'm referring to a picture that I saw a few pages back. Let's see if I can find it. She used to always put her shoes on this stuffed animal, and I'd completely forgotten about that. So I like that things like that are captured, are saved. And I include things like, this is a note that some students wrote to my husband, to the library. I included that because I thought it was really sweet. So I like to include his story as well, because, you know, his story is part of my story. And I love these large photos. 6x12 photos are like my favorite, one of my favorite editions. And then this was my day in the life. So I don't like to do the album day in the life. I just like to do the journaling because I think that's just as interesting. And then it kind of takes the pressure off in terms of photos, because I already take a lot of photos. I don't need, you know, I'm thinking about Ali Edwards' recent post about enough on her blog. She talks about like figuring out what's enough, what enough looks like for you. Like, how do you know when there's enough pictures, enough albums? And for everybody, it's going to look different. And so for me, I think like there are certain crafting projects that I just, what I'm doing is enough. I don't need to do them. Even though they're fun for some people, they're just not right for me. And some people don't want to scrapbook at all, and that's fine, because, you know, saving them on their phone is enough. So I just like that idea of whatever works for you works, you know. Again, using social media. I'll do a lot of quoting. I really like quoting what people say. I do that a lot. Like if someone says something cute, I will like run to my phone and write it down. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll put video 2 coming up of album 2.